Hello, welcome to Jazz Mandolin Tips from www.jazz-mandolin.com. I'm Pete Martin. Learning some cliche phrases in any music style can help you sound more authentic in the music style you're playing. Cliche phrases come from common phrases that have been played on recordings by many of the great players of the style, and other players hear them and use those phrases, and then they just become part of the vernacular or part of the language of the music style. So learning and using these common phrases is always good, because in that way you will always sound like you're playing the music style. So here we're going to learn a common bebop phrase on the mandolin. This bebop lick will be played against a C7 chord. A C7 chord, which has the notes C, E, G, and B flat. A C dominant 7 is what music theory folks call it, is derived from the F major scale. And we're going to be using the notes of the F major scale with one additional note. We'll play the note B in there as well. If I would start on the C note, the note C, and play all the notes of this F major scale, once again that's the key that C7 is derived from, and add that B note, it would be this. So these are the notes C, B, B flat, A, G, F, E, D, and C. Music theorists, jazz music theorists, call this the C dominant, meaning C7, the C dominant bebop scale. These scales were used a lot in the bebop era by adding one note to the scale. And what that does is, if I start on this C note and play those notes in eighth note time, starting on the beat, it puts the notes of a C7 chord on the beat. If I play that scale starting on C as eighth notes in 4/4 time and starting on the beat, it puts all the notes of a C7 chord on the beat. 3, 2, 3, 4. So in other words, 3, 4, C, B flat, G, E, C. You can hear a C7 chord in that scale. These scales, like I said, were used all the time by bebop players to outline these chords. So this lick is going to be derived from that. Bebop lick 1 may be the most common phrase that I hear on recordings from the bebop and post-bebop era, including players of today. If they play in a bebop language, at some point or other they will use this phrase. Okay, the phrase starts on the note C. It works against a C7 chord. It starts on the note C and descends to B flat chromatically. Then up to D, open A, and G. So the notes are C, B, B flat, D, A, and G. I play the phrase here. Lick 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Lick 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 2. Memorize this lick and then see if you can incorporate it in your solos. Get flexible with this phrase. Learn it in all keys. Be able to expand and contract, so be able to add notes in front of it and get into it, and be able to add notes out of it at the end and get out of it in different ways. Play around with different timing. The lick itself is all eighth notes, but play around with varying the timing a bit. All good players don't ever just use one lick verbatim all the time. They play around with it and get very flexible with it. So you need to do that as well. I've done several of these common bebop licks videos. You can find them all by going to www.jazz-mandolin.com and scroll down and look for the instructional videos link and click on that, and you'll find these along with several other jazz instruction videos I've done. Hope you enjoy it. My name's Pete Martin. Happy mandolin playing.